Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take. Our hearts beat to the city streets. We began to feel the fire. We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher. The night's young and it's just begun as she puts her hand in mine. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be two hearts running wild. Now the morning is the afternoon. We lay awake in bed. The laughs so loud as the hours pass. We're gonna do it all again. We wanna chase the night, wanna dance to the light, pull stars from the sky, just two hearts running wild. Never sleep, never stop, as we shout from the top. We're gonna be, we're gonna be two hearts running wild.
This is better, maybe? Please? Audio? Do you have audio now? I hope. Yeah! Okay. Apparently it was my headpiece that was funky. Sorry about that, guys. I was like, I don't get why it's not getting in. Like, everything looks to be as it should be. And I'd even tried to power on and off the headset and everything, and still no audio. And I was like, I don't know. So that was kind of like my last resolve, and luckily it worked. So hey, I am happy. Okay, it is still warm here in the Netherlands, but it is definitely not as warm as it has been this past weekend. I think we did hit a new heating record score. Friday afternoon, we broke 100 degrees Fahrenheit here. I think we have never had it that warm in June at any time in the past. Right now, it is definitely cooled down compared to what it has been, but I still need a little bit of a fan to keep me cool when I'm working on the Heart Collectors Shawl. Lots of things is going on in real life as well, and next to this, some of them may free up some of my time, which would be nice, because yeah, things are changing, and I am making some different priorities as to some aspects, and I think that would be a good thing, generally speaking. Let's see here. Good. So I did a few things since last time. I am working on the second last color change, which means that looking on how long it takes, it would be extremely optimistic for me to believe that we will be finished by tomorrow, which is in the month of June. So we're not going to finish in June, but we are pretty close. We might finish it this week, which would be nice still. I did find my cream color, solid cream. So I have this full cake of solid cream. It's a 400 meters, so which is basically more than 2/3 of a cake. I should have more than enough to finish up whatever home run I need to do. Um, and hopefully that will just be straight all right. I got to using or putting on the second cake. So this is not full cream. Well, it's a bit difficult to see, obviously, because of the bright light. But let's see, you can see it's not completely the same color. This has a little bit of light peach in it. One strand of light peach, the rest is cream. But yeah, I'm basically having 2 of these left of the light peach I need to work on. And then the cream. I have passed row 60. I'm actually on technically I'm row 61, but row 61 would finish too soon. So I am going to repeat row 57, 58, 59, and 60. I'm not sure if I'm going to do all 4. That depends. I probably will have to do at least 2 more. And I am somewhere like, I don't know. It's just one big project, right? I mean, yeah, I'm like halfway-ish through row 61, except it's not the 61 listed in the pattern. That row 61 would still have left me in the peach to cream area, and we all agreed we have to finish with peach, kind of to make sure the color change goes all the way through and throughout. And that is why we are still working. Else, I guess I could technically have been finished by now, but let's just make it a little bit bigger because, of course, I'd like to have a. It's 750 grams. Why would I want such a heavy scarf? I actually don't know. I'm making it because I can. I think that's the conclusion of this. But it is pretty big. I did make a flat lay, which I also used for the thumbnail, and I'm just gonna quickly show you guys the current flat lay before I progress this weekend. So it's a flat lay from Thursday, so it is gotten further since. And as you can see on this flat lay, it's huge. Like already, I have to put it on the floor. It's 1.20 by 1.10 approximately, so it's a little bit taller than it is wide. And that's basically how it looks flat laid. What can I say? It's gorgeous, and it's huge, and it is huge. I don't think, unless somebody says, Stine, I would really like to pay you a fortune for making me one. I'm not sure if I will make a second that big. Like, I mean, I do have yarns for others. Like, I can make more of them, but I have a feeling that I'm more likely to say I'm not sure if I'll make them a large one. It's just a long time and a lot of stitches, and it's heavy work, and it's a little bit like, you know, it reminds me a bit of Fleur. Maybe I'll do, but not anytime soon. If that makes any remote sense. Not anytime soon. Good morning, Rev. Good afternoon, Helle. Good morning, Susan. And good morning, Jessica. Great to see you all. And good morning, Megan. And yeah, it's huge and great and looking awesome. And it's just, poof, I am a bit exhausted already, but we are trying to get there. Let's see. Here we have the dual camera screen setting. I am going to pop myself down that was a bit too far, to the working area. Then we are going to see if we can darken up this one a bit, because I think we are on default. So we first have to go light, as you all know, and then we can go a bit darker. And then you can actually see the difference. As I said, we do have the cream here, so we're not in cream yet. And then we have the, you can maybe but it's very difficult. But there is a difference. There is a difference. And we are going to add that cake today, and then we'll crack on and see how far we go, basically. And we are about halfway through this round. It is a lace round, so we'll definitely finish this round today. The only question is how much more we will do, but you know, that is as always these days. There is no guarantees. We'll just crack on. The weather in Quebec is 19 degrees Celsius, so that's about 66 degrees Fahrenheit. It's blowing from a west-northwest at 1 mile per hour, and the current humidity is 64. Also, by the way, the weather here in Nijmegen currently is at 26 degrees, and it's blowing from west-northwest at 7 miles per hour, and we have a 45 degrees humidity. It is partly cloudy, which is true. The sun does peek through once in a while, and yeah, it has definitely been a couple of very, very warm days, and I am so happy. This morning, I opened the windows, and we managed to cool the room here by probably what's 4 degrees, I think. Maybe not fully 3, because it's getting warmer again now. I finished the wrap, was looking at my lovely wife to model it. Ooh, let's go have a look at both, I guess. Da, da, da. Here we go. That is nice. That is definitely nice. Meanwhile, I do hope some of the US people are getting some mail this coming week. I mean, I haven't checked the tracking, but it should slowly be over there, I guess, depending on customs. But it was ready to leave the country here, but I don't know how and what flight they would ship it with, because I don't think it will go by boat. I cannot believe that. In the old days, yeah, it would have, but nowadays, definitely no. Definitely no. Oh, we do have it changing. So here we go. I think you're sending your weather our way this week. On Thursday, it's supposed to be 102. Yeah, well, we just broke 100 Friday, like literally. I was shocked. And I know because I checked the weather forecast app, and I made a screenshot of it, and it's a little bit profanity. But it was kind of cool. Let's see if I can actually turn this one around and share. So look, that was my screenshot from Friday afternoon, late afternoon. Mostly sunny, it definitely was. It was hitting 100 exactly. And then can somebody tell me the fucking keyboard command to delete hot weather? Is it just Shift Alt fuck you? Sorry, I found it quite hilarious. I had to save it because it was, yeah, crazy like that. Yeah, I don't think I've ever experienced that here. Which to more local people, it translates to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, roughly, what we hit. It was just hovering around. And I just, yeah, I still can't grasp it, honestly. But been there, done that. No need to repeat, so to say. Anyhow, so we are working here on this lovely sort of what is it called? Lace row. And the only thing I need to decide, I guess, but I don't really, because we are gonna like am I gonna want to curl it more when I get to the end or not? Or am I just gonna go a little bit on my own road? Because it basically says you can repeat the steps, but yeah, I guess I could. I'm partially repeating it right now. That's truth. But yeah, it's still warm, so I still don't have my tea with me. I was debating, which is the first for a week, which is kind of crazy. 2, 4, 6, 8. But yeah, so I'm just on lemonade. It's a raspberry lemonade today to keep my throat moist. Worst I've ever had or seen was 50 degrees Celsius for 35 straight days. That's crazy. Whoa. That's insane. No, thank you. But yeah, so I am trying to figure out where we are heading, and we are definitely going to find some new projects to make next week, because this is going to be finished this week. That is probably the most certain I can be about something. I think we are definitely going to finish the Heart Collectors this week. Could I have finished it sooner? Possibly, with a little bit of different priorities. But I'm also not unhappy with the priorities I've made. And what to do with it, I don't know. Block it, take a nice photo, conclude that I've made it, and then remove the check mark in my book. Complete. Find me a new project. Well, I do have some projects lined up, so do not worry. We still have a few VIPs we're working on as well. We should not forget those. You need some Texas iced tea. I generally don't like iced tea because I find them fake sweet, like, or insanely sweetened. And I don't like cold tea either. It's like I don't know what it exactly is, but I'm just not a fan of cold tea. Or I've not had the right one yet. I mean, it could be that I haven't had the right iced tea yet. That is definitely also a possibility. So far, I just haven't found one that I find okay. So I don't do iced teas. Also, preferably something with as little calories as possible, because, you know, I am trying to lose a little bit of excess weight. It would be really good for my health. Not that I find myself insanely overweight, but I'm definitely also not skinny weight. Brew up 1 liter of black tea strong. You want the water to be as close to as black as possible. Oh, 400 grams of sugar. My crazy. And dilute with 3 liters of cold water. Chill serve with ice and lemon. I even covered it to Kami units for the free. Oh, thank you. It's so kind of you, but no, thank you. I don't think I'm gonna do iced tea. No, I don't get it. Tea shouldn't be cold. It just tastes wrong when it's cold. At least that's my experience. Now, the same goes as last time. I do apologize if you do hear my ventilator, but without the ventilator, I cannot work on this yet. And that's probably also the reason I worked a bit less on it this this weekend, like Saturday. I did work a lot more on it yesterday than I did Saturday, because the weather was cooling down a bit more. So I definitely had a little bit more piff to do that. Saturday, I also had some visitors for another side business I have, and I had to handle that. So that was good. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I was actually thinking of you earlier today, Rev, because I was thinking of a phrase from the Wheel of Time. The door back will present itself, but only once, something along those lines, right? And I really felt or feel right now that I'm in a this, like, I can eliminate some parts which I think will be the better for me, by taking the door. If that makes sense. So yeah, I'm sort of working on that, and that might cost me some of my working time later today as well. So as I am concluding, we are likely still working on the Heart Collectors Shawl on Wednesday. That is what I'm expecting, which means that I guess my July summary is also pretty wrapped, as to how much yarn I've used in July. That sounds like very little, but on the other hand, if we know that I've done so much work here in June on the Heart Collectors Shawl, we also know a lot of this yarn is technically June consumption. Rev is currently working on the Joanne inspired 2-bit granny. If you know, you know. It was always a low chance of finishing in June, given everything. Yeah. But I have to say, I think I'm pretty close. Like, everything given, I'm probably closer than I thought I would be. I think that's fair to say, that I'm probably closer than I thought I would be. I mean, I have 5 passes to go of yarn, like changing yarn. Not even 5, 4, but there are 5 times of yarn. But then I also know that I might finish somewhere halfway in, and that is why we are having this to finish it up. So technically it's still 5, including this. We can pretend it's a football match and add time for no reason. We could. We could. But would it be fair? That's the question. It's not like I think so. The fact is I will likely finish before or very close to or in the middle of this weekend. I could probably crank on lots of time out on it to wrap it up and get it blocked for Saturday/Sunday. If I don't, it's fine. I have time in September where we'll have similar availability, 2, 4, 6, 7. And you know, part of it was of course because I wanted the yarn to count towards my June summary, but reality is it's just not happening, is it? That's just how it is. And that's all right. Fair to whom exactly? This is your time, so true. Is it fair to me? July will be big numbers. I mean, there's a 3,000 meters just on this. Big numbers in meters. Maybe not an amount, but that's fine. That's just reality. And then we have the other projects. So it's just, yeah. Of course, we could have finished sooner if I only worked on one project at a time. That's definitely also a valid possibility, but that's not how we are. We need to find lots of new projects, even though we do have a few ongoing ones, but definitely need to find a couple of new ones. Plus, you can work on a bunch of smaller projects, hats and the like, that use up smaller cakes or skeins. I could, yes, definitely. I did start one project. I did start on a new hat, right? New bucket hats. Though I've not moved on it since last week. Because, well, this one is in the mix. 2, 4, 6, 7. Buckets, beanies, and turquoise? What's turquoise? I think I need to go through my cottons because I'm debating some of them. I may just need to say, okay, technically, this one is an open skein. I'm not going to stash that. It's just a scrap. And then I'm going to go through those scraps and get those used. Some of them still have labels because obviously it's not like they're a big usage in, but maybe that's what I need to do with some of those. Two, 4, 6, 7. A turkey pronounced 2K is a folded brim hat. Ah, so like the rib knit beanies is a 2K because it is a folded. It's a bit like a sailor's hat, I think they would call them in Danish. I did not know that. I'll definitely also put a little bit more energy into getting my stashed further on Ravelry and get some of those recordings done, because as you know, there is just a bunch coming up, and you know, the quicker I have that done, the quicker I can just like clear it out from my stash as I finish projects. That had K sound, not the letter. Ah. Mm-hmm. Folded brim rib knit beanie or folded brim beanie sounds a lot easier than me attempting to pronounce a toque. Toque? Toque? Gee. I'm challenged today. 2, 4, 6, 7. Also had too little sleep. I think the choices I am trying to make is also going to impact my sleep in a positive way. So that's good. And likely also my focus. we are rocking on with this. I have a dictionary suggestion because there's pronunciations, I'm sure. But right now it's like it's not coming. I don't get audio on it at all. It feels like as if it's not working. Sad days. Meanwhile, I am Oh, you also had issues. Try refreshing the page. Okay. We will try. But anyhow, the latest update I got from the shipments is that they have arrived to the States. So I assume they're in customs. That would be my best multi-dollar guess right now. If I would get cash for guessing right. Oh no, one still seems to be hanging here. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it's not going to take too long. Okay, we'll try to... Okay, so I get toque and toque, depending on... But still, it's not a word I was familiar with, so I learned something new. I learned something new today. It's French origin. Ah, right. But we are basically so far along that the color changes takes like a row and a half almost. So they don't get etched out as they did in the beginning. It's just too many stitches on this project. Just too many stitches. But I hope everybody had a great weekend, despite some areas being insanely warm. North America use the Quebecois pronunciation. And Quebec French is very different from French. I guess it's the same as, the English being widely different depending on where in the world you are. All English is English, but they are clearly distinct sayings that you can say in one country which you cannot say in another, or which means clearly different things. Hail Mary for Danish. It's just a tiny, tiny country with that as a language. The Dutch is also a bit around the world. I mean, if I would say, like, Dutch is the same as Afrikaans, not completely, but Afrikaans does originate from Dutch. Flemish and Dutch is very alike. And then, of course, let's not forget the Dutch Antilles, so the colonies they have, Aruba and St. Martin and Curaçao, which is not that far from Venezuela. And then, of course, we have Suriname, which is a former Dutch colony as well. And I do believe that there are definitely Dutch-speaking people there still living there. I don't know to what extent they would still have to learn Dutch at school, though. 2, 4, 6, 7, because it's a part of the history. Jessica says, yes, my hubby can't understand Quebec French, but French from France, no problem. Quebec French is a slang, probably. Just like the C word in America is one of the worst curses possible, basically unusable, while in Australia it's effectively used as a comma. Yep, things like that. There's so many different opinions and expressions as to what one believes is offensive as well. I think it just shows us how different cultures are, right? At work yesterday, a friend came in at work with a family and they are Polish. My mother-in-law is Polish and I love the language. Oh, that's awesome, actually. You get to have some of those small pleasure opportunities, right? Like, I still remember at my old job, I think I'd gotten home from New Zealand maybe half a year earlier, and this guy called in and did it with his absolute best Danish. And I picked up the phone and I heard on his dialect that he was likely from New Zealand. So I basically asked him. So that was a bit funny because he was. And we ended up doing the conversation in English because I had the feeling that he would be more comfortable doing that. But yeah, that was kind of fun. I could just hear it on his dialect that he was from New Zealand. But yeah, it gets easy to hear if you've been there for like 4 weeks. 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. I did though get my the yarns that I bought at Stephen and Penelope's. I did get those added to my Ravelry. So have been a good girl. done some updates, but I do need to get a bunch of other things done for sure. It's on my July agenda. Um, I had some plans for tomorrow, but I am debating if I can postpone some of them for later this week. Though I am unsure if it's a clever choice. Megan says, what did you get from them? I missed that. I got, let's see if I can find it. So I got yarn. I'm going to find the yarn for you guys because I think that's easier. There, and then my library. Pop in here. Okay, good. I'll pop over. Good. I got the yarns to make the unicorn skinny scarf. I showed it. If you want to like see my like real life feeling and experience of being to the Stephen and Penelope store in Amsterdam, I would say go watch my yarn talk video from Friday. I do show the yarn in that video, like on camera, to get you a little bit better an idea. And I talk more about my experience in the store. And you need one skein of Westwool Tandem and one skein of Westwool Glow Hair, which I got one of each, just not in this color. Also, when you did buy the yarn in the store, they give you a discount code for, or you can buy the pattern and you get a code where you can download from free from Ravelry. And the pattern is heavily discounted. You pay maybe like 60% normal price or like 40% discount if you buy the yarn that goes with the pattern in the store. I wanted to only get very little because I'm on a yarn diet, right? So it's a very limited what I got. And I chose for the sage green because that really matches with my eyes. So this is the color I got from the tandem. I got one skein, even though it shows 3. I just got one. It's South American 100% merino wool. 100 grams for 3.5 ounces to 233 meters or 254, 55 yards ish. And they were 22 euros as skein, so definitely not the cheapest. And then that is going to be double stranded and combined with the Westwool Glow Hair, which is this sort of mohair mix. It's 64% mohair, 36% silk. One skein is 25 grams, so it is 0.8 odd ounces. And it's 210 meters or 230 yards approximately, and it costs 13 euros a skein. And those two are going to go absolutely gorgeous together. I actually like, so you can see it here on the Ravelry. In my stash, you can see the suggestions and the colors, which is actually quite neatly made. And I paid 4.5 euros for the pattern, I think. Something along those lines. So I think it was pretty cool that I could buy the pattern directly in the store and get a discount. So of course I did. And I got the code with me home and I downloaded it to my Ravelry so I don't forget and I don't need to keep track of the card. That's basically the short version. So that was pretty cool. And as I said, I do go through it and with the yarns in my hands on my yarn talk video. I don't have recordings from the store itself. I was only there for 20 minutes, half an hour, and I was just breathtaking with everything, and I just wanted to enjoy the moment and find what I wanted and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't get anything. I didn't even take a photo, silly me, but I was just happy to be there. Michael's had a flash 40% off sale, so I restocked my loops and threads, neons. I even took an inventory and everything, and I got my stock up to 5 skeins of each. Ooh. Well, we're all happy with sales, aren't we? I mean, Megan, I showed it on Friday. Last Friday it was up. It's like 28 minutes. I'm probably, yeah, talking a little bit back and forth about things. And showing the Heart Collectors and showing the yarn I got done. I should probably have done other things as well, which I totally forgot about, but oh well. 2, 4, 6, 7. I also saw they finally restocked the Big Twist of Varsity Green. Been out of stock since February, so grab 5 of those. Ooh, that is nice. It just goes through my chenille yarns, and I do have a couple of amigurumis I really want to make, and I am getting more and more scraps from sewing in ends, which I'm thinking would probably do great as filling, combined with some of my others. We will simply have to see as it goes. Two, 4, 5. Yeah, I think we're good here. Also 2, 4, 6, 7. We are. With the sale and a $10 voucher I had from previous purchases. Oh, you saved $43.15. That's nice. Well, well, well. We all like to save money, for sure. Can't even exactly say that I saved cash being in Amsterdam. It cost me a fortune. But I mean, it's okay. There's some room for it. I was looking at if it would even be remotely possible to subtract an air conditioning from my business accounts, but only if I have a designated area for business, blah, 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 blah. And I don't. So unfortunately, it will be seen as general home usage and not subtractable. Because I was like, maybe that's an idea for next year. And, if I can pull it off my accounts, sure. But no, it's seen as home improvement rather than anything else. Travel yarn does not count. It's like vacation calories. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, but then I'm always on vacation. Well, I'm not, technically speaking, but a little bit sometimes. But I agree. We should be allowed to get ourselves something once in a while. We definitely should. It kind of helps keeping calm and peace. It's the same as if you cut all carbs or if you cut all candy, like if you're not allowed to snack, no more snacking. Then when you do allow yourself to snack, it gets much worse than if you just allow yourself a few snacks, right? So, bottom line is that, you know, everything within limitations. And better, I have a clear project plan for what I bought. And also, I did see the Malabrigo yarns when I were there because they also have Malabrigo Rios, and I was like, oh my goodness, this feels so amazing. And I can actually see myself knitting really nice hats in the Malabrigo yarns once my knitting skills are a little bit more advanced than they currently are. And then offering those as well in the web shop. But I do have a few other knitting projects planned that I need to jump into first, so to say. And I definitely also need to learn to, let's say, knit cables and so on. I think that would be cool. Maybe I'll have Ravelry a look for any gorgeous hats combined in the Malabrigo yarns. I also have some other hand-dyed skeins that could be great knitted up. It's just a question of doing. You need to have a little joy now and then to starve and then to starve off the existential dread Oh my goodness. Yeah, exactly. You need a little bit now and then. And that gets for everything, right? We all need like a little bit now and then of the things that's not good for us, because if we just let loose when we do allow ourselves, it goes crazy. Then it's better just to do it occasionally. On the positive note, I have actually improved. Over the last 3 weeks, I've dropped about 3 pounds. So that's positive. I can do better, but it's okay. I'm happy. It's about £1 a week. 2, 4, 6, 7. And of that, it is about a decrease of my total body fat percentage of 1%. So I'm actually pleased with that too. It's not a lot, I know, but it's progress. And that is what's counting. We like progress. And how am I doing this? Merely just thinking about what I'm eating, and I'm snacking less. Trying to not necessarily take too big portions. And that includes, by the way, me out eating on a Greek restaurant in that same period as well. So, hey, hallelujah for me. And a heat wave where I've been drinking insane amounts of liquids. So I am rather satisfied with that. Improvement is better and always, yep, and better is always better indeed. So it is better. I am pretty good. I'm happy with it. It could be more, but I'm definitely still happy. The challenge is to keep it going. It has been less about, I'm not sure if it's a year ago, year and a half, something like that. So it can be better. And I hope to proceed after that. So that's going to be the challenge. 2, 4, 6, 7. But I suspect that it may actually happen. Da, 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 da. 2, 4, 6, 7. Awesome. We are progressing nicely, I would say. Don't forget to hydrate. sun is gone again, and yet it's like sometimes coming back. 2, 4, 6, 7. Should be more sunny though later today. Give me just one moment. I hired a lawn service since last we met. Oh yeah, you talked about having one out for checking. They showed up on Thursday and the front and backyards look so much better. That is awesome. Due to health issues, I have no damage in my legs and I'm just unable to push a lawnmower anymore. And our lot is not huge, but it's too big for me and my wife to keep on top of. Well worth the 150 a month that they're charging. That doesn't sound too bad. I mean, they will mow it definitely like bi-weekly and maybe even in the period more often. So it definitely sounds well worth the investment. I wouldn't mind if somebody would come and clear the weeds out of my garden. I mean, we really should get some done. And maybe I'll have a bit time for that next weekend. Who knows? Depends on the weather, of course. It was just too warm this weekend to do anything. The one I called to get a quote from never showed up. Oh, that's not cool. Like, at least then call and say you're not interested or it's not going to work out or whatever. This one was going door to door since they work at my neighbor's property and they were offering discount because of it. Yeah, so we have the same. So we get our windows washed. We have a company that comes and wash our windows outside. And we pay like, I don't know, less than 30 euros per time that they do the whole building. Well, not completely. They don't do the attic. And there is one or two windows that don't do either because they are too small and sitting on a impractical location. But they do all other windows, and that's definitely well worth it because the time it would take me before I would be done is a lot more than it takes them because they're professionals. Plus, on the first floor, I would need a ladder, and it's just not an option. I'm not going to get on a ladder to wash my floor, wash the windows on on the first floor. I wouldn't feel safe doing it. So I am more than happy for others to do so and pay for it. And I believe that they also offer some sort of discount because they go through the street once every so often. And obviously, the more they have in a street, the financially better it is for them because they can collect them all and do them on the same day. And then you can choose how often you want it done. If you want it done once every so often, I think it's like once every 2 months, or it's no, once every 3 months. So it's like 4 or 8 times a year basically. So it's either once every 3 months or it's once every month and a half, something along those lines. But basically the same company on the street gets done the same day or within 2 days. Um, that's a fun Europe versus US difference. You call the ground floor, we call the first floor, and what you call the first floor, it's the second. Yeah. Okay, so we have 3 levels, so to say. We have, this is ground floor, base floor, of whatever you want to call it. This is ground floor. And then we have a second floor or a first floor, or whatever you want to call it. And then we have the attic on top. So we have 3. And it's also possible to live on all 3 if we want to. And I'm just not going to climb stairs to get my windows washed. So we are quite happy we are in a window washing service. I also don't think my partner is keen on getting on a ladder to wash windows. So we kind of agreed the fact on it's also a well worth investment. But it sounds like they were around just around the same time when the other guy were missing. So you had a good opportunity then. I'm gonna admit I was actually debating if I should even make this lace layer or if I should just keep it not. But I have. Looking past, it's a bit funny because here we make the first and then it's like 3, 3, but then suddenly it's just 2 and then it's 3, 3, 3 again. So technically I need to make another 3 rows after I finish this row. Do I want to do that? Because looking at the amount of yarns left I have, I don't think just doing 2 rows, 2 rows could suffice. I could option to end there. We'll see. Welcome back, Susan. We have been chit-chatting along. I just did my first frock of the day. It was only 3 stitches, so it could have been a lot less. Talking about differences. I actually also do have some. Yeah. I mean, we're definitely going to be knitting after this, some of it. Of course, we still have the vest, as long as it's not too warm to work on. I need to make buttons. Maybe a task for the weekend. But yeah, I got organized that I do have a car I can borrow for the weekend, so that's a good start. I need that for the other obligations I have while being home alone. But the thing is, I always overestimate how much time I have for everything, basically. Um, like, I think I have plenty of time, and then in reality, I probably don't. Last year, this time, it took me so much longer to clean up my guest room for the visitor because so I had talked with my sister back in May, and she told me, oh yeah, her son and his girlfriend was going to drive all the way to Disneyland in Paris, and she wasn't actually that keen that they were going to drive that far and so on. I said, hey, when are they going? Oh, they're going that weekend. I was like, oh, I should be home. He's welcome to come by. It's sort of on the route. If they want to sleep on the way, they can do that. And well, they accepted it, but the kid or my nephew kind of texted me 3 days before arrival. Was it okay that we were still gonna come on Sunday? I was like, yeah. I just need to do lots of cleaning before then. Thank you for the heads up. But it went all right. It went all right. It does remind me that I also need to get some dinner sorted. And I do think we are in the quiche department. It is good until and with this week, and that's easy. So I think that is just what I'm gonna do. It's the easy choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. Two, 4, 6, 7. Good morning, Sherry. Hey, great to see you. It has been a long while since last. So yeah, you don't catch me often. It's because I'm generally online in your morning when I'm doing lives. But it is wonderful to see you. My evening hours is not ideal for being live because I want to spend time with my partner, obviously, and other things that's not related to work. And sometimes Well, I still crochet, but I just do other things. 2, 4, 6, 7. And I'm doing great progress right now. We are on the very, very last bits. We have less than 3 rows to go, I think. Well, maximum another 3 rows plus the one I'm working on this shawl. And it is monster heavy, to be honest, because there's a lot of yarn going into this. So don't we have a calculator? Converter, yes, thank you. Convert. It's going to be about 26, probably like towards 27 ounces when done. Heavy. Think about that. It's a heavy friend. I have enjoyed making it. I do think it's very similar on some aspects to the Ultimate Sacrifice shawl, which I do find a little bit easier to make. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's the Heart Collectors that Dawn has made a couple of times, and Amanda, the Scraptastic Crocheter, has made it in the past. I am on the home run. I believe we will be finished this week. That was also my goal. But the challenge is really these rows right now, they take forever. There's close to 2,000 stitches in a row. And yeah, I don't need to say much more than that. I think it just takes many hours to get through a row. I am at a point where, depending on the type of row, I will not be able to complete a row on a almost 3 hours live. I'm using the Hobby Twister yarn in the colorway Rub and Cream. I have 3 cakes that I'm working into this, so it is the large or extra large version of the shawl. And I do have a solid cream for finishing it up. In the event that the solid cream that's in the center of these cakes aren't enough to finish a row. And I just want to make sure that it is definitely like I want to have a solid color on the border of it. And I mean, I need to make sure that row is completely finished from both ends, so to say. And if that's not enough, I do have 1 cake of solid cream I can add to it to finish it up. And the heart is also a solid, which I also bought only for this, which is this like coral color. And that is the color that starts getting worked in here. I think it is probably much easier if I show you the flat lay I took Thursday. So if you give me 1 moment, I will show you the flat lay. So this is how it looks approximately right now, with the only exception it's got a little bit more brighter because we have a couple of more rows on the bright end. I think if I look on that, we have another 3 rows added to it, approximately. I think that's about it. Another 3 rows from what you see in the photos. 2.5, 3 rows has been added since. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with the end result so far. It is hard work. And I do not want to count the amount of hours and the amount of stitches in this one. But it's many. It's like when I made the Mosaic Blanket Fleur. I'm getting to the point where I just want to be done. I can see why the rows take so long. Tedious work. It is very tedious work. I'm happy that I done it. It's like, it's like, crossing off a piece in your bucket list, I guess. it's in that sense it's pleasing. Um, and yeah, and you have missed some morning ones. So a little fun fact for you, if you haven't been here with us for morning for a while, Sherry, is that a couple of months ago, I think about a month and a half, I said, and I'm still gonna hold myself true to that, that when this channel hits a total of 2,000 subscribers, I will host a giveaway on a live, one of these afternoon lives, because that is mainly when I go live. And we will do another Ravelry pattern giveaway. So a pattern free of choice within limitations. So say like 10 euros / 10 USD alike, equally similar price wise. I will be willing to gift that to you. So if you have a pattern on Ravelry that is on your wish list that you'd like to have, then you should keep out for those lives. I shall try to announce that in time. We do have another 285 members to go, so I don't know when it will happen. But I mean, every week we do slowly inch closer and closer. And if you happen to be live on that, that is when we then will, like when it happens, we will be hosting a small giveaway for celebrating the 2K membership, or subscribers, not members. Still have members, but that's not related to that. 6, 7. We were talking about the Sophie's blanket in Mishy's live last night. Tang said if she ever made one, she would sell it. She wouldn't sell it for less than 1,000. I guess I don't know if it's the same with this one. I have no idea if I would even consider selling it. But I mean, if I would, you would have to pay some serious money. It would not be enough just to pay for covering the yarn. The amount of hours that's gone into this fella, my goodness. I mean, everything's for sale for the right price, right? But I think this one is just going to be mine. Unless the offer is good enough. Henceforth, if you are interested in obtaining this unobtainium priced shawl, let me know, and I may actually, depending on what you offer, be open to sell it to you. I think I did. Yes, I did. I had a stitch too many, so we frocked 2. Let's count 2, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. That's right. I think it's scary when buying patterns on some sites. Now, Etsy, I've heard some are selling AI patterns. They don't work. Yeah, it's definitely scary. I agree. I also haven't bought patterns on, well, that's a lie. I did buy a pattern on Etsy earlier this month for shawl. But I know it was advertised with a link to it by the designer of the shawl directly to their account. And it is a designer I know what work does, and I decided that I was okay giving that a try. So it's definitely a shawl that I will be crocheting at some point. But generally, I wouldn't I'm talking about Ravelry. Most of Ravelry, I think if you report, I think you can report patterns for being fake there. 4, 6, 7. So I guess if that would be an issue, some people would already have reported that by now. So I feel okay on Ravelry still when it comes to getting pattern. The thing about crocheted items, when you think about the hours put into the item, you make $5 an hour. I'm not doing it for money. At least not currently. I do sell items, but I mean, it's not my main source of income. So it just helps pay for the yarn currently. Rev says it's getting to the point that unless I see a video tutorial, everything is suspect. True, true. It's kind of sad, right? That it's gotten so far. IVB bought one. It was over $10 and having a hard time getting her money back. That is why I use PayPal to buy things online. That or my American Express. Which then on top gives me air miles. Hallelujah. Two, 4, 6, 7. But yeah, so it is. It's definitely a concerning thing. One needs to start look much more out, and if you know the designers and if you know they've made a project and they have a website, if you can buy it from their own website, I guess that could be an option too. I mean, I have a few ideas I'd like to try out and see if that will work as pattern. Then I would like to see if I could find some testers to see if it would still work, and then I'd probably see if I could sell them on my site. That's my current ideas. I definitely do have some solid ideas in between that could be fine for it, and I do have a site. So 2, 4, 6, 7. How has your weather been, Stina? Oh well, Sherry. Last week we had a heat wave. We had 100 degrees Fahrenheit Friday. I've been boiling because I don't have an air conditioning. So it's not been exactly what I would consider comfortable. But further than that, the weather has been good. The sun is shining. It's great for the solar panels on top of the roof. Rose says, speaking of patterns, that Dune Breeze wrap is one I highly recommend. It looks stunning once you get the repeat cadence, and it works up very fast. Oh, nice. Yeah, I think you did praise it already last time around, didn't you? It is crazy over here. Yes, it's crazy. Your grandson just went to England with his mom and Nana. He just graduated from high school. Congratulations! That's awesome. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy past week. And it's still kind of warmish. I mean, it's in 70s today or so. I don't know. We can just check what it is. But I mean, I expect it to be like 27, 8 degrees about now outside. Not sure what that's in Fahrenheit, like N70s, I think. Oh, close to 80. Yeah. Weather conditions here are partly cloudy, definitely true, because it's sunshine and I see clouds, because I don't see blue sky, but I see sunshine. It's at 81 degrees Fahrenheit, about 27 degrees Celsius. Wind is blowing from west-northwest at 6 miles per hour, and the current humidity is 39. Yep. We had massive thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday also. And Sunday it was also like 37 degrees, which is like close towards 100. We were above 100 Friday. It's just been unreal. And there is definitely also more people that's been dying from heat stroke than normally. And it's just basically it's across Europe. It's been really, really, really nasty. Makes me feel very old. He's 18, but I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old grandson also. I think maybe you got your daughter early and your daughter also got kids early, or son for that matter. And that's how it just happens so quickly. You know, time flies. Technically, you don't need to be that old. You like, yep, the numbers in Paris has been scary, but they also had a thunderstorm and then suddenly the heat wave were gone. But we had thunderstorms Saturday and Sunday. Like it rained for solid hours and we got like 11 or 12 millimeters in that hour. 3 sons and 3 grandsons. I will be 66 in August. You're doing great. And I know for 100% fact that my mom does not consider herself old, and you're younger than my mom. So you're not old. Rev says, I saw a picture of Europeans showing the surface temp on his patio and it read 75, which to an American is like they, to an American is like, is pleasant. Oh, it's in Celsius, Rev. Yeah, exactly. And cars go insanely high as well, of course, in this hot weather, right? It's just been crazy. So it's been really nice this morning just to air out, and I managed to drop, as I said, 3 or 4 Celsius almost. But now it's kind of, because it's warm again outside, it's slowly heating up again. So we have a challenge with our house. It's very well insulated, which means that it takes a time before it warms up in the spring and summer. As well as it takes time before it kind of cools down for the winter, right? But when it's once cold or when it's once warm, it kind of stays like that, if that makes sense. So it takes a long time before it kind of gets warm in the house. But once it's warm in the house, it's so difficult to get it cold again, until again it's winter. Yeah. So good isolation is great, but I mean, not always convenient, especially not when it's 100 degrees Fahrenheit outside, which is not anymore. It's kind of cool now, right? It's enjoyable compared to. Live 3 miles from the ocean, so we get oppressive humidity. You have a hard time breathing. Yes, it can definitely be much more humid when you're closer to the ocean. I'm close to the river. I'm not far from De Waal, which is basically it's the Lower Rhine as it comes into the Netherlands, and it will split about 15 kilometer that direction. and it splits into the lower Rhine and into the Waal, and it's just around where it comes in from Germany. 2, 4, 6, 7. So I live actually technically I live between two rivers. Yep, we'll definitely finish this row today. Hallelujah. Four, 6, 7. How many more rows I'll do? 2 or 3 plus this one. Like technically if I should follow the pattern 3, but it could be that I'll just do 2. It kind of depends on where the yarn ends. I think I could probably do in 2 actually, because I'm like not halfway through this color change, not even close, but I'll probably somewhere halfway through the next row change to the solid, which means that I will have to finish then. On the following row, because I want to have one full row of solid cream. And the only question is if I'll do 2 or 3. That is thus not decided. It kind of depends on how far this yarn stretches. I have been comparing yarn. Give me just one moment. I'll just pop this on. 2, 4, 6, 7. Because this is the last of cream, right? So this is the last bit left of the cake for cream of the first cake I put on. And here we have a full cake of cream should I need. I'm not really sure how long the solid lasts of this. It lasted that long in the beginning. Up here. This is how much is left of the current I'm working on. So as you can see, there is still a bit left to go. And plus I have one more. So that's the solid cream. And then I have this one still. So now they have 3 different sizes because this one is used. It's ready for the cream. It's the last one that's ready. This one is halfway through approximately. And this is still a full light, 1 strand light peach and 3 strands of cream. And that's the same for this one. So I'll be cutting the yarn when it goes to the color change here. I'll add this skein and then I'll work all the way back. And then if I'm short, I will pull from this one. And I have enough yarn to do 3 rows. The only question is if I want to do 3 rows. Because that's still a lot of stitches to go. And right now, it feels like daunting. Quite daunting. I mean, I'm past 2,000 stitches when I get there. It's 1977 or something like that, or 76 stitches on the row before this current row. So that's why I'm like, we'll be well past 2,000 when I'm there. Yeah, there's not much more to say except it just takes like a couple of hours to do a row, and it's a full-time job to finish it this week. I definitely have a plan. We are not going to need to play Yarn Chicken. So that is positive. Actually, I'm rather happy we're not playing Yarn Chicken. It's also a bit different pattern. I think it's a difficult pattern to actually play Yarn Chicken on, because the repeat is different every 4 rows. And when you do have the increased rows, the increases are rather big compared to the rows where it doesn't increase. So I think Yarn Chicken is not a safe choice to play with this pattern, personally speaking. And as I said, I'm probably open for making this shawl again in the future, but I think if I do make the next one, I'll make it the number smaller, a size smaller than this one. It's heavy and it's big to sit with, and yeah, a little bit smaller just speaks to me, I guess. But it's because it's taken so long so far. I'm kind of gotten to the point where I'm done. 6, 7. So you'd have to end on the last row of your repeat. Well, technically, this right now they are talking about 4 repeats, but I think you could also end earlier. And that's based on the fact that somewhere halfway through, there is only a 1 row before you again have this sort of lace row that I'm working on right now, where all the others is 4 row repeats. Except for here. Suddenly that's off. But it's in the pattern off, and it matches with the stitches and everything, so I just did it. But it's not logic. It's not logic with the rest. So I was really confused when that happened, but yeah, I did what the pattern said, so I guess there is that. So I'm definitely doing another 2 rows. And the question is if I'll do another 3 rows. I think that is like, there is not far to go on this row because, that's it, kind of ish. It's far enough. But I mean, next to that bit, then another 2 rows is definite. And the question is if there will be another 3. That highly depends. It's plausible. I have the yarn for it. There is enough yarn for it, that I do know. similar to working the stitches in my 12-point star blanket, but all in double crochet and with the worsted weight, not fingering. Yeah, so at least yours grows a bit quicker than mine, doesn't it? I saw that Yarnart had gotten a few new colorways, or by the looks, it had gotten new colorways for their flowers and rose gardens, which kind of like makes me itch. But I have so many cakes of various types and colors that I just gotta keep on working with what I have. I do not need to buy more yarn. No, no, no. No more yarn for me. 2, 4, 6, 7. Megan wakes up and said, "What colors?" I mean, let me see if I can find them. But it really looked like new colors to me. So let's pop in and give it a look. Even the alpaca ones has new colors. Oh, that's not the one. We need the shopping window. I mean, this is the Yarnart Flowers alpaca. It's from Rita. I know they're main seller, but see here, that's gorgeous. I have this one up in my stash, and I've made a shawl with this one. And I made, that's not, oh, it's sold out. And this one I used for the Simply Lines alpaca poncho that I made. It took 2 skeins. Anyhow, let's look at the flowers. Gorgeous yarns. So all of these are older ones. This one is, I'm not familiar with this one. And this one also seems new to me. Very bright. Then they have some more down here, which I think are not necessarily new. But let's pop to the rose garden. This one is definitely new. I've not seen this one before. This is also new. That's an old one. Let's see. That also seems new to me. It's like more yellow browns. And this one. Ooh, definitely new to me. And this one as well is also new to me. So I'm quite sure the rest here is also new based on their numbering. So like this one, gorgeous. Darker blues, ocean-ish type. Definitely also gorgeous. I have them in different stranded. I'm not too sold on this one. I like the start of it, and then I'm not too keen on the outer edge, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And what do they have further down? That's familiar, but this seems sort of new. So does this one, or is it the Vivid? Then of course you have this one, which is kind of cute. So they do have a few no colors for sure. Yeah, I still have 2 alpaca cakes in my stash. I don't need yarn. I have to stop going dip sales. They get me in trouble. Well, I am I'm doing my best not to get into more sales right now because I have more than enough yarn. You would know. I mean, the amount of yarn I have is insane. And we're going through it again because we're stashing it all on Ravelry these days. And I don't think I'm even close to having it all stashed. Isn't it sad? I've gotten a few of the Hirschness Milans cakes, and this is what they are. Yep. Some of them can be Milans, I guess, when they are Milans, or if they don't have enough, they can throw them that direction. That could be. Yeah, very bright new colors. So, do I prefer the rose garden or flowers? It kind of depends because, I mean, I don't really have a preference per se for one or the other. The rose garden is a little bit thinner yarn compared to the flowers, but not by much. And I've worked successfully with both, and I've had pleasure working with both, so that doesn't really make a difference to me. And I think they're both soft, so it's not like I don't have a specific preference. It just happens what colors to be what I want. 2, 4, 6, 7. The Moonlight ones with the sparkle are gorgeous. I totally agree. They do have some gorgeous of those too. They also seem to have new of those. Let's pop into seeing those. That one is old, but let's see what they have. So all of these are I'm familiar with. I'm not sure if this is a new Moonlight, but I do have this one in solid colors, so without the glow. These I'm familiar with. I'm not so sure that's not much new here. Yeah, this one maybe. This one I've not seen before. That's kind of gorgeous actually in these greens and blues. And I do have some sparkle versions as well in my stash. They are all stashed. And those are Flowers Moonlight only because I do not think I have a Twister Shine. I do not believe so. But it's still gorgeous. I mean, they have other nice, they have the bouquets here. They're actually also pretty nice. Let's see what they else have. The Summer Dreams and Symphony Dreams. Do they have other cakes that we have missed out on? I don't think so. Linen Soft. Oh, here. Merino. That's the one. So bouquet here is 100% cotton yarn. It's a bit thicker. It's more like a DK weight cotton. And they definitely have a few nice ones, but their transition is much quicker because it's also a shorter yarn. Because this is like 500 meters in a cake to 250 grams, so they're double the thickness of. Oh, they say it's a worsted weight. Sorry, but it's double the thickness of this. And with the color transitions in each, the color transition does go quicker, but they still look good. I mean, it's not bad at all by any means. Ooh, this is nice. This is real rainbow. I just don't know if it would be too heavy for garments because of it being what it is, but maybe like if you do like a top down top of some kind. Could you then get the solids for the strap and how, or you would make a front and a back piece, but the challenge is really to color wise make them the same. Oh goodness. But it seems like something that could turn into a heavy piece. Here's the merino ones. They got some breads, which I'm like, yeah, please give me. So they're all really, really nice colors, I think. But here, this one, give me this yarn and a poncho or a sweater, something like that, where it's color controlled. Yes, I'm ready. I am so ready. Um, I think it's gorgeous. Oh, my mouse needs power at some stage, so I might lose my mouse. That's not good, actually. Um, I need to figure out if I can charge it somehow. I probably can. That's actually interesting. I wouldn't say it gorgeous. I would just say interesting. But definitely some different color options here. Some of them reminds quite of the other ones, right? But yeah, I'm actually just gonna see if can I do that. Maybe I can. So my mouse runs on. It gets charged with like it has an external charger. Can I do that through this one? Maybe I can. And I just need to put a plug in it because I also need to use my touch board only. And I'd rather not if I wouldn't need to. So I'm just gonna, yeah, we are charging. And I do think I might have fallen out for a second because when I was doing that, I did pull the power for my internet. So hopefully we're back. A friend of you sent a couple of the bouquets. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, Halloween, maybe. I have a bet I want to crochet for Halloween. And still we need to get back into knitting. But that is once this is done. Just like I need to really get photos and stuff. Oh, it was loading for a second or two, but we're good. Okay, cool. Yeah, I pulled the internet plug by accident, so it just suddenly had to jump on Wi-Fi and then back on the cable. Because the cable is actually a bit broken. So if you know an Ethernet cable, it has this sort of click thing that keeps it in space. That part that keeps it in space, the clicky part, is broken. The cable works fine. Sherry says, I love amigurumi. I just don't love making them. It all depends, right? I made a lovely, lovely octopusy. No, not octopus. Jellyfish. 2 months ago. That's why we are behind on the Heart Collectors Shawl. I suddenly had to go make a nice little amigurumi as a birth present to my neighbors. They delivered, or she delivered, my neighbor woman delivered a nice little healthy girl in May. 2, 4, 6, 7. And I gifted her Nikki the jellyfish. It was a free pattern. And I actually enjoyed making it. It did take much longer than I would want it to, but I think I would definitely be open to making more with some of my scraps. And I actually want to make it also in chenille yarns to see the actual size difference. And I do have some yarns that would be just perfect for it. So that is probably just what I have to do. I went on someone's Etsy page last week and got a bunch of Amis. This was someone I kind of know in the yarn community, just not a blind purchase. Okay, so you're gonna make Amis as well? I mean, I'm not necessarily making lots of them, but I think a few is nice, and I definitely have a few I'd like to make. Um, for future. Ah, they made them so it's finished Amis. So you purchased the Amis. Yes, not the pattern. Sorry, I totally 2, 4, 6, 7. Great. That makes sense. I will need to do calculations of shipping and weight and so on if I would sell Amis on my website. But I am genuinely considering doing a few and throwing them up as well. The loaf cats are easy to make and cute. Oh yeah. So I'm gonna make a bat for Halloween. I made a ghost, not like 2 years ago. I made a ghost for Halloween. I didn't do anything last year. A part of that was also due to all the travels I had with my mom, and I kind of stopped planning, coordinating for my channel, partially also due to that. Because I mean, I didn't know if I suddenly had to do something emergency. And here we basically are. But mom is doing good, at least from what we know. She will have another scan in July. And further than that, we are still on the living from scan to scan concept, which that part sucks. But I mean, we've gotten to a mutual conclusion that if the scans doesn't show that it's gotten worse and it remains the same, it's positive. Because, yeah, that should be positive. Yeah, she's okay. Sherry, my mom was diagnosed last February with, well, technically she first had the diagnosis towards the end of May, or not the end of May, sorry, the end of March, with lymphoma. So she has gone through some quite serious treatment. The treatment consists of 12 cures of chemo, so 12 chemo cures, and those 12 cures were 3 different types of chemo. 2 weeks between each, and last spring she was insanely sick. So sick that I wasn't sure if she'd survive. Something is wrong here. That was wrong. I put 3 double crochets in the space rather than 2 in the space and 1 in the first stitch after, and therefore I skipped the first stitch. I was like, this looks wrong. So yeah, that was that's been a rough period. She is doing good, but she has not been declared clean, so to say, or cancer free. So we just live with it right now. And it's an awful long way to Denmark. But family is more important than anything else in life. I hope treatment can help her. My brother-in-law, who will be 84 in July, was diagnosed with cancer a year ago, and now he has a secondary cancer, so different treatment. Yeah, so that's a problem. So she was treated last year, and the scan results showed an improvement. So it's definitely decreased. But it has showed that she's clean. There is still something showing, but what is showing is so small that they can't take a biopsy of it and define if it's the same or if it's a different type, and therefore they cannot treat. It's just a waiting game, basically, because they're also not sure if what they do see is a cancer or if it's sarcoidosis, which can light in the same way as cancer can. Yeah, and she is only about half a year older than you are, Sherry, just to give you a bit of comparison. So it's way too early, and she's definitely been a fighter. I have been insanely. This last year has shown me how sick you can be and still survive. Yeah. But she is doing a lot better now than what she has been. So that's positive. Thank you. So yeah, I've been traveling a lot. And I've been really happy with the job I have gotten since. So I'm having a job that allows me to travel and bring my job with me. And that's been quite a blessing, to say the least. Two, 4, 6, 7. 2, 4, 6, 7. Did I do that over here? Probably not. 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, it's all right. We are on the last home stretch of this row. Then we can beef in some ends, I guess, on the other side. Maybe. They told my sister that her husband would probably be on cancer treatment prophylactic for the rest of his life. That's probably true, which sucks. I think it's also about life quality. And what I actually do like here in the Netherlands is the fact that you have the right to euthanasia. So if you are chronically ill and it's only a matter of time for your passing, such as you're declared terminal with cancer, you're terminally ill, when you're in enough pain, you can actually get papers done and signed for planning a date for your passing, so that you do not need to have pain longer than needed because, well, we all know the end result, so to say. And I think that is a really, really nice thing, that it's a possibility. That is in Denmark not possible, just to give you a comparison. I think people should have a right to choose as well. So it's important to say that if I went to my doctor and said I would like euthanasia, I'm done with life. I'm done. If I went to my doctor in my state and health, I wouldn't be granted it because I'm healthy. Well, not completely healthy, but I'm healthy enough not to suffer, right? But if the doctor would say she's probably going to be gone within the next 3 to 6 months from, let's say, cancer, then yes, you will get a permission and a date will be planned. And I have a friend whose father chose this option. And my mom-in-law also had a friend, and she unfortunately passed before the date it was scheduled. But I think it's a great opportunity if you're terminally ill. And it doesn't necessarily is cancer alone. It can be all sorts of illness, right? Where you're terminal in one way or another, and you're in a lot of suffering. And I also think it's better for the system because it's, you will cost less money, so to say, in the system. Why should they spend the time and energy on you if it's just going one direction and you're done with life in any case? It's a bit morbid discussion, right? But I mean, if you're terminally ill, yeah, you should have the right to choose if you'd rather end it sooner than later. Then you don't have to leave your loved ones with all those medical bills. True as well. I totally agree. And people go through in the Netherlands, they do need to have like a mental declaration that they are sane when they're saying it. So you can't have people that's mentally ill. They won't get permission either. But I agree. It's why should they be allowed to prolong any disease to profit from it? There's no need to do that. Of course, you can also always, I guess, choose to go without medication and treatment. But that's not very nice either. But I think it's a good way of doing things. It's a good balance. Um, That's cool. We get to start on the next row. I need to make a decision. Well, I need to read the pattern, and based on that, we might need to make a decision. Because I'm not so sure if it's necessary, but we'll see. I forgot a chain. Chain. Done. And I need to do... Yeah, I have chains. Just checking that I don't have any more where I forgot to do chains, but I don't think so. No, that looks all good. That's the center. That should be missing one. Awesome. That means that I need to chain, and I need to do a 3 double crochets in the last stitch. Then I just quickly need to read pattern, which I see I've not been clever enough to find on my computer. Good morning, Lisa. Great to see you. We just had a quite morbid discussion here. As in the Netherlands, euthanasia is actually allowed, approved, if you're declared terminally ill. Then you can get support to, I wouldn't say commit suicide because it's not a suicide, but you can get euthanasia to speeden up your passing to the other side. And as I said, I am insanely happy that it's a possibility, especially when you're if you get declared chronically or terminally ill. Okay, we just finished the second row 57, so it's row 58. And let's see that where I need to, according to this, we need to chain 3, 2 double crochet in the next 2, 2 double crochet in the next, including chain space, and then we are increasing. Basically, it is another insane increase. So I am thinking, do I want to do that? Do I want to do that? And the insane increase is only for this bit, right? I mean, it is already insanely increased. So I could option just to keep going. What I'm doing is like I do the 3 double crochets, and then I just do a double crochet in each of them all the way down, and then go how they are. That's basically how most rows has been until here. And then after this piece is where you see they really start to increase by a lot. And then every so many. So here it's like every 5 in the beginning, and then it's like every 3. And here it's like every 4. And this had none. But I'm not really sure if it makes sense, because if you look at this and how it spreads out, it's an insane increase. So I'm not sure if I want to do that, if that makes sense. Like, I can keep doing the same on the tips as all rows, but I'm not sure if increasing that insane on this makes sense, because it's gonna curl completely in on itself. Sherry says, oh, Casey, my ends have weaved in time to pull some more weeds. Have a fabulous day, my friend. Thank you so much. And if I don't see you before then, happy July 4th soon for you guys. But yeah, so that's a big question. Do I really want to do a similar insane increase? Or don't I? I mean, I don't have a feeling it's necessarily needed. if we pop over here, look here. If I do that again, it will go even like more in on the center. Stay home to avoid traffic. Thank you. Yes, indeed. So compared to this, would one really wanna curve it further in? I don't think so. I think I'm just gonna do all the what I did on all the other rows here. I think that's better. If you're opposed to that idea, now you speak. Because I'm not opposed to it. Probably also because I know it's gonna be a bit of a change of a few stitches, right? I mean, I haven't even calculated. It should be possible, but it's yeah, I don't think it makes sense to do a similar one. I think it's your shawl. Do what you like, love. Yeah, it is my shawl. True. But you have the opportunity to influence me. What do you think, Lisa? Should I? Should I not? Should I? Should I not? Susan says beautiful, and Lisa says I wouldn't do the increase if it was mine. Yeah, that's my point. I wouldn't either. I actually almost feel like it's been too crazy. But it's how the pattern is, and I'm kind of okay with that. But doing more, I mean, no. I'm doing an increase on the top point in any case because I'm doing the 3, right, and not 2. So it will go a little bit, but it's minimum. Yeah, I think we are gonna be no way. let's not do it too crazy. So that means actually I should get in from the other side. That will be much easier. Because it's time to flip. Flippity flip. Woohoo. Oh my goodness. I have way too much shawl between my legs, which sounds really wrong, but I mean, it's on top of me. And it's huge. It's more like a blanket than anything, if so. So this is the start of it, regardless if I would do the increase or not. And I could still keep doing that. Then I think that it's just gonna be me doing a stitch in every stitch along the row. It's not how much shawl you have, it's how you style it. Well, in this case, you have a lot of shawl and probably possibilities of styling as well. Yeah, I think we're just gonna do single crochets in each stitch along the route, and I mean it's still curvy a little bit, but not as insane as Just's, and I'm fine with that. And I do think that before we at the end of this new row, we will be changing color, and then I think I might actually just end it a row early. It depends. I mean, if it fits exactly that I will not have that much left of the cream without doing an extra row, and it's still a full row finished, I'd do that. But if we have to keep working and we end up halfway through this row, we will add and finish the row with this. I started a very shawl for myself for the wedding. Oh, that's awesome. That is awesome. Oh, and an update. Christmas project 7 finished and 8 is started. How many are you going to do for Christmas projects? Like, how many are gonna get presents? Big question. $11 projects so far for Christmas, but some people are getting 2. Okay. Oh, but then you're a good time. But on the other hand, I have no Christmas projects this year. We are gonna do some sort of sort my stash with projects for 2027, I think. That would be kind of cool. Well, I guess there's some benefit to this pit because it's just, it is a lot of stitches. um, but and there are some ends we can weave in. Ooh. And they're actually far enough down for me to do that. So I might do that when we get down to the center. Just insert stitch marker, weave in ends just to do a bit different. And we all know it's better to weave in as we go, else it's gonna be one big nightmare of ends. Well, I had a fair few ends on this project, obviously, because of the color controlling. This is 100% color controlled project. It had to be. Also seeing the color change slowly coming on the cake. But it's not gonna happen during this live. My kids are each getting socks, and the boys are also getting Musselbro hats. Hubby's also going to get a Musselbro. 3 of my son's teachers are getting shawls. Ooh. Yeah, I haven't made any plans on that account for Christmas. My partner is not a type that's gonna appreciate. First of all, I don't even know how to knit socks. I've attempted once and that went desperately wrong. I think it wasn't the best needles for the purpose. And if you're not really an avid knitter, maybe socks is not where you should start. Um, so I mean, the needles sort of filled out of the project all the time, and I had to try to figure out where the stitches went, and it was just a freaking nightmare. Um, so not necessarily something I want to retry anytime soon. This should be the bottom, and then we should jump over. And then the question is, how many do I put in the center? I think it's 1. Yeah, it says 14 plus 1, so it's gonna be 16, probably 17. We'll figure out. So we'll go all the way up to the top. Insert stitch marker. Weave in some ends, even though we are very close to the end of this one. Or we'll crack that off. I don't know. Try to do either or. Choices, my friends. Weave in ends or weave in ends later. It's not like I have a lot of ends left to weave in. So I would probably also just be fine ignoring them and doing them all towards the end. Or tonight. Rev says I'm not planning any Christmas makes this year. Nope. So we're in the same boat, Rev. I just know who appreciates and who doesn't. And I know for a fact that I wouldn't be able to make anyone that's getting presents from me this year anything that they would appreciate. Well, maybe my mom will appreciate something, but not sure what. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. That makes good sense because we increased at some stage and here was 15 last time. So yes, they should be 17. Look, it's getting closer to color change, and it's very little because it's getting so tiny. So part of me is really tempted to see if we can actually manage to crack out the whole color change on this stream. I think that is not impossible. And if that's a possibility, I think we're going to try that instead of dear ends. I will take care of you later. And by the way, without increases, let's just pull the yarn a bit here. Without increases, and looking away from the ends, it still looks nice here. Like without further increases. I mean, the only difference is it's not like curling insane here, right? So I think it's good like this. It's good. I'm happy. What projects are kind of planned, but I really can't completely plan them out until the Stria finds out if the gender of her baby. Oh, but she's supposed to have a scan soon, right? Like, is there a date for the scan planned? Everyone I made something for appreciated what they got. I just don't have anything new to make them. Ah, right. Yeah, I just I know it's not necessarily going to be appreciated if I make something for my partner because he just, oh, I do two. I should do one. Stine, wake up. And I know he's just not the appreciation type when it comes to knit and crochet. So then there is no need to make him if he's not going to, if I know he's likely not going to appreciate it. He will appreciate the labor I put into it, but he won't be using it. And I mean, then why would I? Except for enjoying the process of making. She doesn't have a date for the scan yet, but the doc told her it should be by the 15th of July. So, okay, so it's within the next 2 weeks-ish. Give or take a few days. That's still sort of semi-soon. What do you think? Do you have a feeling? One thing is you have a wish, but do you have a feeling? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It's always worth giving a guess. I could guesstimate. I am not good at guessing. So I'm told that you can, sometimes it's possible to see on the belly. Apparently, girls and boys grow different bellies. But if that's true, I don't know. No feeling. Okay, that's all right. Yeah, I know you're wishing for a girl. I think the most important wish is that it's a healthy baby. And then after that, we wish for genders. But I'm sure you're wishing for that. It would be rather odd if that wasn't the case. So we should count another 17. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Huh, sweetie. Yeah. I actually think we'll have the cake changed today. Looking at how quickly this goes. And then I think I'm not going to put on the new cake, but I'm going to look at that end to V-fin when we get there. That is my plan, because then we did a full color change, which is, well, we need more than that if we want to finish by tomorrow. But we still need to get some ends woven in. But then I'm also at a point where I could probably do some work on this one later, depending. But I also have a few other things I need to settle. There's plenty of things going on. So. It should be 17, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Which means that I will definitely not finish this row in this color. I will be changing to the cream, which means that after this plus the next row, we could call it quits. Or I'll add the final one as a teaser. But I'm not sure if I'm in the mood for that. We'll have to see. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I want to make a baby Yorkshire blanket by Me More Makes on Ravelry, I assume. Ooh. Here we go. That's gorgeous. Lots of triangles to put together. Or not triangles, squares. Of different grannies. I think that could indeed be very cute. And it's a lot of yarn, so you will not be bored. You will not be bored. Good. We had a few more rounds of this one. It is going to be a close call to end on this one, but I think it is doable. Two, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. The squares are designed to be made with mini skeins. Like the mini sock skeins, for example. And seeing she's due mid-November in Canada, the baby will need a very warm blanket. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's gonna be a Christmas present then, or is it going to be a birthday present? Plan on making it with Koigu pencil boxes. Yes, mini sock skeins. Okay, cool. They did have some nice mini skeins also at Stephen and Penelope's, but I couldn't get myself to grab them because I was like, yeah, no, not sure what I'll be making. Let's just leave them hanging for the sake of my sanity, for trying to figure out what to make with a small skein like this. Ah, blanket will be for her to take the baby home from the hospital with. Yeah, okay, definitely not a Christmas present. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Do you have already picked color schemes? It's like, I know you haven't purchased the yarn before, you definitely know the gender, but have you made color scheme plans for, okay, I'm gonna buy this yarn if it's a boy and this yarn if it's a girl? Yes. Oh. Well, and you have to share them with us once you got it, right? We all want to know. It cannot be kept in secrets. Unless, of course, it's going to be a surprise for her when she receives it. It's not a surprise. Okay. Well, then I'm looking forward to see the yarns once you know. We are getting closer and closer to the cake change. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. I mean, well, we still have some to go, but not far. So I think I'm just going to pull the yarn now and we'll do the cuts, because that's going to be less surprising. Scissors. Not. It's right here. That's basically the yarn that I got left. So as you see, we have done a full cake. Color change on the cake. And we only have the cream left to go with that one. Awesome! It's raining again. Well, Lisa, we had 40 degrees Friday in the end. I mean, for crying out loud, it was a hot Friday. I wasn't live, and I don't think I would have survived being live. It hit 40 degrees in the afternoon, like around this time. I was not impressed with the weather. And Saturday was equally hot. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a couple of degrees less. It was like 37, but still. The weather in Waco is partly cloudy with a temperature of 85 degrees Fahrenheit, so 29 degrees Celsius. The wind is blowing from south at 19 miles per hour, and the humidity is 65. Oh my goodness, what happened to the humidity? Did they move the measuring post? I mean, it's always above 80. Did the lake dry out? Oh my goodness. It's rained so much in Winkler that the rain can't go anywhere anymore, or the water. Oh, that sucks. Well, that's definitely not the case here. Here the ground will just soak it up because it's been quite dry for the last week or two. Well, we have had some thunder showers. We had really some heavy thunderstorms this past week as well due to the weather. 2, 4, 6, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. It got high enough to burn off some of the humidity. Probably, yeah. We've been hanging in the upper 90s for the last week. Oh, God, yucky. Sounds like here. We sent Texas weather to Europe. Don't need it here. You can keep it. Ugh. No, that's not just not fun. Oh, no, no, no. I need to watch this. Don't become a nut. I don't want you to. Whew. Needing to keep track of the very little yarn I have left here, so I don't crochet too far away. But we are going to put on a new cake, but we aren't going to do that in this stream. I can tell you that. Because that gets it more unpractical to move this shawl around, so it's just easier to slash on the new cake later. Because we're not going to do much, right? It's we have a 5 minutes gap to go. That's it. That's it. We have some ends we can weave in here. Yay. Can do that. Last few bits, I think. Or, yeah, I could also just end it here. I need to clear up the mess and do a few things. I don't know. We'll do the ends. Yeah, we'll do the ends. Choices. You sent the Dutch weather, Dutch fans to Texas, and they brought the weather back as a souvenir. Yeah, probably that's what happened. Have a great day, Susan. Take care. Thank you for hanging out with us today. Had a wonderful time in your company as always. Let's see. This is, I think, some of the increase. Don't get me dragged along there. My hobby's job is this evening is to figure out backup power system for our sump pump. The power happens to goes out. My basement will be flooded in half an hour. Oh yeah, that's not a good plan. So definitely that sounds like a good plan that he needs to figure out a system where it definitely will work, because oh gosh, that would be no good. We are just cracking on weaving in the ends here, which had to get done, right? So it's just a question if I do it now or if I do it later. And as I said, we are not going to add the next cake because if I look at the clock, it is time for me to leave you guys soon and get ready for cooking dinner. This other side has a tiny knot. And the knot is not very practical to put on the needle. It is a little bit thinner darning needle. It is a darning needle, but it's a thinner one. And it's simply just due to also this yarn being thinner. I don't want to try to squeeze through some of those big yarn needles if it's not necessary. This one we go in the other direction. I have a mommy duck taking her babies out for a swim in my pond. Oh my goodness. But that's nice. I like ducklings. Here on the back street we actually have a couple of geese that has goslings. Well, they're grown up by now, but the parents are still very, very defensive. And they have basically decided that their grazing pasture is next to the bike lane, which is also basically in the pedestrians area. And I wonder when they will actually physically attack you. So I don't feel I'm not too happy with them. I always feel ready to place a thick fat kick if they decide to attack me. Father geese or mama goose. I mean, they can wreak some havoc. I know that a swan can break your arms, so I would imagine a goose probably can do the same if they grab you correctly. And yes, everybody should have a wonderful Monday, and I hope that you guys are gonna be back on Wednesday. At least my plan is to be back on Wednesday. Then we will see if I've managed to finish the shawl, or if I will finish the shawl on Wednesday. We do not know yet. I do know there is a lot of working hours left to go on this one, so I'm not 100% convinced if I'll manage, but I will try, if that counts for anything. But I don't think I will finish it tomorrow. That would be rather optimistic. But we definitely got a really nice end. So I'm going to say thank you so much for hanging around with me today. I had an absolutely freaking wonderful time in your company. And we're just hopping back on default. And that's pretty much it. We are gonna see each other on Wednesday. Love you all. I had a splendid time. Stay stitchy, happy crafting, and love you all. Take care. Until then, bye.